Hi guys, I'm currently on site. For those of you who don't know, I work in the mining industry in Western Australia. So I do week on, week off, and this is currently my week on. I'm on night shift at the moment. I've just woken up, been to the gym, and I just thought I'd run through my blood result breakdown. So as you know, I've been on this fully carnivorous diet for the last 6 months, and my bloods have come back, well, most of them. So the hematology report, which is basically blood health, hemoglobin, red blood cell, 152 against a reference range of 130 to 180. So smack bang in the middle there. As far as the blood goes, everything's within the reference range. It's quite an extensive report. The only thing that's a little bit low is the white blood cell count. So that could be an indication of sickness, potential to get sick, but I feel fine. The only thing I can think of is 3 days prior to getting this blood test was the 3 heaviest training days I've had in the last 3 months, plus 8 days of working day shift, 12.5 hour day. So maybe I was just a little bit run down when I had this blood test, but like I say, I feel fine and there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with the blood. The next one is the hemoglobin A1C, which is basically a good indication for diabetes or pre-diabetes. It's the blood sugar level within the blood. So mine is at 4.9 with a reference range of 4.0 to 6.0. So smack bang in the middle there. So no concerns with that one. The next one is the androgens test, which is basically testosterone. This is an interesting one because I've never had testosterone tested before. So my levels come back at 28.0, which is actually off the charts. The reference range is 8.0 to 27.9, so it's on the very upper end of the normal level for somebody my age. So that's pretty good to hear. The next one is the liver function test. Everything there is right in the middle of the reference range, so there's no concerns there. Some people say that long-term a ketogenic diet can cause damage to your kidney or livers. At this stage, I can't see that happening. I'll continue to monitor, obviously, because this is a space where everybody's still learning, so I'll just continue to watch. If anything does come up, I'll be sure to let you know. And yeah, but as far as I can see, the liver function test is fine. Onto the renal test, which is your kidney function test. Everything's fine there. The only thing that's above the average range is the creatine, which is 115 against a reference range of 60 to 110. This makes sense to me because the last 6 months, although I haven't taken any multivitamins or supplements as such, I have actually been taking creatine for the last 2 months or so. And creatine is naturally found in meats anyway, so it's not much of a surprise that it's a little bit high there. First coffee for the day. So on to the next test. We got the thyroid function. Pretty common test for people to get. As far as I can see here, my range is 1.52. The reference range is 0.5 to 5.0. So I'm within that reference range and there's no comments to say that that's a problem. The next one is very interesting, vitamin B12. I don't actually know a lot about vitamin B12, but the doctor did say you've obviously been supplementing with vitamin B12, which isn't the case. My score is 1,014 against a reference range of 139 to 651. So that's very interesting. The vitamin B12 is off the charts, but once again, it says potentially could cause liver damage. But as we can see on the liver function test, there's clearly no damage there. So that's nothing to worry about at this stage. My fasted glucose level is 4.4 against a reference range of 3.5 to 5.4. So smack bang in the middle there. No concerns on that one. This one's interesting. The high sensitive C-reactive protein, which is an indicator of inflammation within your body. So mine's come back at 1.1 with a reference range of less than 1 is low risk, 1 to 3 is average risk, and above 3 is high risk. Once again, leading into this blood test was the 3 heaviest training days of the last 3 months. So potentially that 1.1 is an elevated figure anyway, but in any case, it's not a concern. It's still in the low to average risk range, so no problems there. My fasting insulin is at a 3, and the reference range is anything less than 20, so fasting insulin is fine. The other one, we've got the iron levels within the body. My iron is, I've got the iron's 21 in a reference range of 5 to 30. The transferrin is 28 in a reference range of 25 to 40. Saturation 38 in a reference range of 10 to 45. And the ferritin 312 against a reference range of 30 to 500. So everything there is in the perfect range, basically. Now, the next interesting one I've got here is my vitamin D. So my vitamin D level is slightly low. It's on at 46 against a reference range of 51 to 150. But in the last 2.5 years, even prior to keto, when I was testing my my bloods, my vitamin D's always been a touch low, and potentially that's because I work shift work, and 1 week out of every month I don't actually see the sun because I'm working night shift. So moving forward, I'm going to try and get some more sun and hopefully bump that up naturally. Failing that, I can always take a vitamin D supplement, but I would prefer to not do that. Now, the only other test here that needs talking about is cholesterol, and that's a controversial one, we know, and my cholesterol is high. It's come back at 12.9 total, and it's been high ever since I've been ketogenic. But in saying that, the lipid subfraction test, which gives you a further breakdown of the cholesterol, hasn't actually come through yet. So I'm going to save that cholesterol until the next video when I can get those other results, and then we can break that down a bit further. But all in all, 6 months carnivorous diet, no supplements except for creatine. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary. If anything, you'd be very happy with these results. And yeah, like I say, apart from the high cholesterol, which is a controversial one, I've got no concerns moving forward. I'll be continuing this carnivorous style of eating for the next 3 to 4 months at least. And at this stage, I can't find a reason to add plants back in.
Check this out. Rest day, cold shock therapy, 16 degrees.
So week 2 of the keto cut, we've lost 1 kilo, half an inch off the waist. Apart from that, not too much to report. It's a deload week this week, and that was 4 days in the gym, 1 day of cardio, which was a game of squash, and yeah, this water's cold. So anybody wants to embark on a weight loss journey, chase some fitness goals, just start somewhere. I mean, I'm filming this on an iPhone. I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go along. But if this video reaches one person and inspires them to better their life, then it's all worth it.